All right, thank you so much for taking the time, everyone. My name is Paulo. I'm co-founder and CTO of a company called The Hog, backed by Gary Tan and Y Combinator. And I've been using coding agents for the past few years very aggressively. And one thing, especially once GStack came out a few weeks ago, or a month ago, I'd say now, is that although the planning and the execution and all of the skills are really useful, my number one concern, I'd say, still when I'm working with coding agents, especially in parallel work streams, is keeping track of everything, the context, the decisions across all the layers, and that part is really challenging. I've tried a lot of different solutions before. I've tried using, just Git as always, and I still use that heavily. And I would always just basically research, implement, plan, and then implement, and write all the progress down in my Markdown files locally. But the one thing that became apparent, especially once I started using GStack to implement like very large end-to-end features, is that oftentimes while I'm working on a specific feature, and then I go out and work on another parallel feature, during the implementation or the planning phase, I might make an architectural design decision or engineering decision, and then that doesn't translate to the other work trees that I'm working on. And so basically sharing all of this context across everything is really frustrating, and so that's why I built out Orchestra. And it's a very simple, I tried not to over-engineer at all. It's all locally, or it runs on your computer completely locally, and it's basically just a file system structure. And the way it works is that every single time you, so here, I actually prepared a small demo for you guys. So first, I cloned the cal.com repo, so it's just an open source project for the cal.com. And I actually found here a few issues on their GitHub. So I found here a bug on their Google Calendar integration, another one with Google Calendar event. And the main thing that I wanted to point out here is that all of these issues here are booking and scheduling related bugs. And so the first thing that I did is that I already have a prompt here, is that I'll go over to my coding agent. So I'll go over to Claude, and I'll just copy paste this prompt. And the idea is that this prompt will just go out, try to understand all the issues that I want to research. And I might do this for a feature, but in this case, it's just fixing several bugs that are touching similar parts of the system. And the first thing that I'm going to do is break it out into, first understand the problem, and then break it out into several different plans. And then once it does that, you can see that it automatically automatically loaded the Orchestra skill internally. I'm going to cancel that just because it's going to take like 7 minutes, so we don't have that time. But basically, it'll go out, document all of its research, and document it out into a thread here in Orchestra. So this is just saved at the root directory of my laptop. And so you can see here it says thread 13 booking reliability. And it basically first has like a conversation MD file that documents what the user, aka me, is talking to the agent about. And then it'll also keep track of a spec. And so this keeps track of all of the related parts of the system that I might need to touch. And then inside of this session, I basically started creating a plan to actually fix these things. And so I created several different PRs here, like a plan for those PRs. And then I actually have a progress file. And basically, when I have multiple coding agents working on this, it'll basically go ahead and update itself. So let me try something here for the live demo. Let me close my computer. So the first thing I'm going to do here is that this is actually my day-to-day workflow. So I'm just going to go in here and say, hey, give me a prompt for each of these PRs so I can implement them parallelly. And also another thing to mention is that for Orchestra, I created this decisions directory, and basically every single time you're working on a thread, it'll actually have the context of all of the engineering and architectural decisions that you made. So every single time a new session spins up, there's something called the session hook. And so I just used a bunch of Claude code sessions for like start session, stop session, compacting sessions, and basically these hooks allow you to inject the Orchestra context back into the context window. And so I have all of the cumulative decisions in here. And so once I have all of these prompts here, for example, so like fix this issue here, for example, I can just go copy paste this, and then I'll open up, I'm going to use Superset here just to make it easier, and I'll just copy paste this, and then copy paste the second one as well. So these are prompts that will just go ahead and work on the plan that we created with Orchestra earlier. Let me create one more. Last one here. So this is the webhook issue on the GitHub issues. Folder. There we go. So now all of my coding agents are working in parallel, and they're all first checking into Orchestra, and they're looking at all of the threads in here. So they're first looking into this high-level thread, which is all the cow.com related conversations that I had. So first it's trying to understand, okay, how did this user first kick off the conversation? Then it's looking at the plan and the current progress. And then as it continues to work, it'll actually use subagents to update the progress of the plan. So we should see in a bit here that the progress will change from to do to done or being implemented. But we don't have to wait for that. I just wanted to point that out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, that's basically how I've been managing to work on like 5 different